Hello, good people. I trust that you are good. Thank you so much for finding time to come and learn with me. I take this humble moment to welcome you to today's lesson. So, the topic of today is self-discipline. Self-discipline. This is a topic that is built up from our previous video on self-control. Alright, so if you have not watched the previous video on self-control, so I request that after learning what self-discipline is and how to cultivate for your self-discipline, then don't hesitate, go and learn more about self-control and also about emotional intelligence, for the three are interlocked. Having said that, my name is Rosto Ben, your life coach and your career counselor. Let's dive into it. Self-discipline. What is self-discipline? The online dictionary defines self-discipline as the ability to overcome your weaknesses and know your hinges. Alright? But for me, I would define self-discipline as the ability to overcome your feelings and do what is right. That you find that is the right thing, that thing that has been stipulated as the correct thing to do at a specific time, being able to do that and being able to overcome your feelings is what I would call self-discipline. Majority are the times that you find that you listen into your inner self, you get to listen into how you are feeling, whether you are ready to undertake an activity or to take a task. Whereas that should not be the case. Self-discipline should be what is governing you. Let me explain myself further. Whenever you want to achieve anything in this life, even coming to watch such a video, whether you just came across it or you had purpose to watch this video and learn, this is self-discipline. Because if there is something else that came, or there is something else that needed your attention, but you meant to reserve it and concentrate on what you had planned, then that's what self-discipline is all about. All right, self-discipline is one of the ingredients of success. In other words, that if you want to achieve your goals, if you want to accomplish your targets, if you want to go as per your plans, if you want to make a good living, it all calls for your self-discipline, how you are able to exercise that self-discipline. And mind you, self-discipline is not something that anyone would come and monitor you whether you are doing it. Self-discipline, it's you. As I say, that by yourself, you are a running government, what I call the self-government. The same way you would go for your government, or you'd consider the running of your country and call it maybe a government, the leadership of your country as a one government. It's in the similar way that as an individual, you've got what we call a self-government. And for you to be able to run this self-government, because we are calling it self, because it is you as an individual that you are going to run your government. It is not anybody from outside who will come and monitor how you are running things in your government. It's a self-government. So for your self-government to be successful, for your self-government to accomplish its targets, for your self-government to work as per the plans, then it means that self-discipline is what you need to put into place. Many a times I know you have heard people saying, if you look so and so, I doubt how he does his things. If you get to interact with so and so, you don't feel good. People, in other words, complain about you. People complain about how you interact with them. As much as there are other factors, self-discipline is one of the major factors. And that's why I want us to learn about it today. Let me tell you this, my dear friend, my dear sister, my good brother, that self-discipline is what will make you, number one, be able to wake up in the morning and go to where you are supposed to, if you are not employed or if you are on a day off. Self-government is what your employer relies on, that you've been tasked with this job or this responsibility, and you are expected to undertake that responsibility without questioning, without being supervised. All right, because you are exercising what we call self-discipline. Let me tell you this. It is with self-discipline that everyone else manages to become who he is or who she is. All right, that you want to become the real man, the Arrosto, the Ben, the career counselor, the life coach. All right, for me to continue practicing as the career counselor, as the life coach, it is self-discipline that I'm exercising, that I know the limits to which I should extend. I know what I should do. I know what I should not be doing. That's what we are calling self-discipline. So my dear brother, my dear sister, my dear good friend, how is your self-discipline? And I want to, in a quick way, we get to rate the level of your self-discipline. As I do mine, do yours also. And the first question to help us rate our self-discipline, and we are rating between 1 to 10. In a rate of 1 to 10, where 1 is the least, 10 is the maximum. All right? I want you to rate yourself based on this question. Question number 1. How often do you procrastinate things? How often do you postpone things that you had planned to do? Maybe as a result of another activity, and it's not an emergency for that matter, came up, cropped up somewhere, or maybe there is a nice episode that you want to watch on TV and you feel that I need to watch the episode and maybe not go do your cleaning, something like that. How often do you procrastinate your activities? In a range of 1 to 10. The second question that I want to ask you, how often do you complain about your own self not fulfilling the planned activities? How often? How often do you say, yuck, I didn't accomplish what I had targeted today. I didn't do what I was supposed to do today. How often in a day, in a range of 1 to 10, how often do you do that? The third question I want to ask you, how often do you fall into your friend's plan? That your friend just comes and tell you, you know what, I got a plan. Heed your form. Let's do 1, 2, 3. And you forfeit everything else that you are supposed to do and you go to what your friends wanted you to do. How often do you do that? In a range of 1 to 10. The fourth question that I want to ask you, how often do you find yourself doing cleaning in your house? How often do you do it? Maybe putting your clothes into order, cleaning them, maybe cleaning your house, all right, or cleaning your vehicle. For those of us who might be married, how often do you do your personal cleaning? Or do you wait until somebody invites you, maybe you need to do? How often do you do that? And the last question, as question number 5, I want to ask you this, my dear friend. How often do you find yourself setting aside days for your personal growth? How often do you do that? How often do you say that on this day, I'll be working on 1, 2, 3 for my self-growth? Maybe I'll be going to the gym. All right, how often do you do that? You realize that I have asked you 5 questions, and each question carries 10 marks. And I want you to do this. Out of the 5 questions, my dear friend, if you have anything below a 30, if your marks do not add up to anything above 30, then my dear friend, your self-discipline is something to question. You don't need to go to anybody, but you need to look into yourself and ask yourself, how is my self-discipline? Why is it that I don't do what I'm supposed to do? Why is it that I fall into my friend's plans? Why is it that I don't accomplish my daily tasks? How? Because your self-discipline is not at par. Well, that's not a standard way of measuring or rating your self-discipline, but I just post this to you to help you to tell where your self-discipline is, because it's not until you have high self-discipline that you'll be able to work on yourself, for yourself, by yourself. Can I repeat that? Not until that your self-discipline is high that you'll be able to work for yourself, by yourself, on yourself. Because that's it. That's the whole thing that one requires in life. Because with self-discipline, my friend, it's very good. It's very easy for you to be able to set your standards and remain by them. It's by self-discipline you are able to demarcate, or in other words, to put the boundary to your goals. And not even to your goals, boundaries to which maybe you should go or others should come. It is by self-discipline that you are able to limit interaction with people. And in this case, those people who might not be of great benefit to you. It is by self-discipline that you are able to determine what type of a friend to keep and what type of a friend to drop. It is by self-discipline that you are able to set targets on maybe finances and be able to work towards them. It is by self-discipline that we do this much, and that's why we agreed something in our previous lesson, that self-discipline is one of the pillars of self-control. If you want to be able to manage your own self, then self-discipline is something that you need to go for. Self-discipline is something that you need to work for. Well, having and hoping that you have understood this, let me ask you this. Then, how do you improve your self-discipline? Maybe day by day. There's no one who is perfect, not even myself. I'm not perfect. But how do we improve our self-discipline? Because it's key, it's paramount for us to live, because it's actually a basic thing for a good life. How do we cultivate for self-discipline? And I want to tell you this. There is no specific formula, or there is no specific methodology of working on your self-discipline. There is no specific methodology or formula that you are going to say that if I do this, then I'm going to improve my self-discipline. Because self-discipline is cultivated by our daily habits. What you do on daily basis is what cultivates or nourishes your self-discipline, or diminishes or kills your self-discipline. Have you ever gone to a market maybe, or a supermarket? Let me give an example in the supermarket, with all due respect to those who work in there. If you visit a supermarket and you happen to talk to one of the attendants, and she is like, or he is like, she is not there for you. He is not there to support you, to assist you. Yet, she is an employee there. That is what she is supposed to be doing. But you find that they are not concerned. Why? Because of self-discipline. Alright, their level of self-discipline is very low. And also, there are other factors that maybe we could put into place, but self-discipline plays a big role. So, my brother, what you do on daily basis, what you do every day, is what cultivates to your self-discipline or kills it. So, if you want to improve your self-discipline, the first thing that you should do, my dear brother, my dear sister, my good friend, is watch out on those habits that you do on daily basis. There are some habits that you do, and maybe they are pleasing. Maybe to you, according to your own judgment, you feel that this is a habit that cultivates my self-discipline. Maybe something like, if you are those people who wakes up at a specific time of the day, when you set your alarms maybe, or when you set your minds that I'll be waking up at 6 from now henceforth. That's a habit that you need to check on. Do you wake up every day at 6? Because if you compromise that, it so means that you are compromising your self-discipline. If you take lunch at maybe at exactly noon, and you find that at some days you compromise that, not always you fall into that. Yes, that is one of the rules that you put for yourself. Then you are compromising your self-discipline. So your daily habits, what you do on every day, again, is what you need to check on. The second thing for you to be able to improve your self-discipline, check onto your weaknesses. Look into yourself and identify your weaknesses. Which are those things? What is that you feel that you are weak at? Why do I say this? Because those things that we are weak at, or call them the behaviors, maybe, or let me just call them things generally. Those things that you are weak at are most of the times those things that will make you compromise your self-discipline. For example, maybe you want to improve on your health, and you have put a target for yourself, and one of the plans to help you realize your target is jogging for a kilometer every day at 6 a.m. Just giving an example. Every day at 6 a.m. you want to be jogging. All right, and maybe you are weak at this. It's not something that you love, it's not something that you really want, but because you have a target, because there is a purpose for doing it, then you wake up every day at 6 a.m. and work on it. All right, so once you identify your weakness, that you are not those kind of people who are able to run, or those people who don't love like learning. Did I say learning? Not me. Running. Okay, then that's it. All right, identify your weaknesses. Then also identify those behaviors that are irritating. What do I mean by this? Those behaviors that at times you feel that I have this behavior with me and it's very irritating. I don't like it. Identify it, my brother, my good sister, and start working towards it. Because not until you are able to overcome that, that you shall be able to improve your self-discipline. Why am I saying this? As you work towards that behavior that is irritating, then you are also able to improve your self-discipline. All right, because remember what we said, self-discipline is not something to pick from the shelves and put in you. It's something that you need to keep doing, and it is determined by what you do on a daily basis. Something else maybe to help you cultivate for your self-discipline, it's forgiving yourself. Actually, this would have been the very first thing I need to mention. Forgiving yourself. No one is perfect. You understand? There's no single person who is perfect in this world. Not even me. All right? So the first step towards healing or towards success on cultivating for your self-discipline is by forgiving yourself. Yes, accept that from now henceforth I have been very poor in my self-discipline. My self-discipline has been very low, but from now I accept that was the old me. I was not a good person, I was not perfect, but I'm willing to work on myself, for myself, by myself, to ensure that I become a better person by improving my self-discipline. My brother, my sister, my good friend, I do hope that that one will benefit you. And if it does, as I always say, please pray for me. And also let me know through the comment section. Through us, comment to me. All right, let me see what you got. Then I also request you, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is where I always communicate the lessons that I have for you. And also follow me across social media platforms at Arostoben. That is YouTube at Arostoben, Facebook at Arostoben, Instagram at Arostoben. I'm not in Twitter, I'm not in TikTok. And until our next meeting, have yourself a good time. May the God Lord protect you. Until our next meeting.